Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all honor and glory to Yahweh Ba'Shem Hamashiach Yahweh Shai. I am servant Ariel, and I am keeping the faith as I'm going to continue to keep the faith. And I have my beloved Elder Byron on the live tonight, which he's going to be reading. And we're going to do this lesson titled The Most High Will Change Our Corruptible Bodies. And I'm going to pass it on to the elder.
Shalom, shalom, my God. Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shai Barakatah.
All right. So everyone heard the elder. And I want to also say peace and salutations to everyone that's out there bringing out this truth with sincerity. And shalom to everyone in the chat and anyone that tunes in. And we're going to start with the book of Psalms, chapter 51 and verse 5. Baba Kashar.
Elder.
Khan.
It's doubling up.
Oh, are you hearing the echo?
Yes.
Okay. Hold on, elder.
Yes. Now I'm not. It seems to be clear now.
Okay. Is that better, elder?
Much better.
Does that sound better? That better, elder? Oh, I can't hear you now, elder.
Uh-oh. You know what? I think it is still doubling.
Do you have a window open? Because if there's another window open, it'll. No, I don't have another window. I don't have another window open, elder. That it'll do that if you have a window open. A little.
You know echo. What? That was my fault. I did. My apologies.
That's all right. We got it fixed before we got going. That's all right. Work out them kinks. Get all them kinks worked out before you get started. That's all right, elder.
Okay, here we go. Psalms 51, verse 5. Behold, I was shapen in iniquity, and in sin did my mother conceive me.
And that's all of everyone, all of Yasharallah, every one of us. We were conceived in iniquity. We came into this sinful world. When we were born, we came into a sinful world. And that's how it's been for all of us. But even though we came into this sinful world, now that we've been enlightened with this truth, we don't have to remain in it. Can we get Matthew chapter 6, verse 19 to 21, elder?
Matthew 6, verse 19. Lay not up for yourselves treasures upon earth, where moth and rust doth corrupt, and where thieves break through and steal. Verse 20.
Salakia, elder, I just want to this is all red letter, and this is Yahweh Shai that's speaking here. Mm-hmm. You know, I just wanted to just touch on it a little. He said, lay not up for yourselves treasures upon earth, where moth and rust doth corrupt, and where thieves break through and steal. Mm-hmm. Now, a lot of people, they may see this, and they may think, oh, we can't have anything, any carnal things. Yes, the Lord, he said he's going to supply all of our needs according to his riches and glory. He's just letting us know in this that we shouldn't put anything above him. That's all he's letting us know. Go ahead, elder.
Yes, sir. Verse 20. But lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust doth corrupt, and where thieves do not break through nor steal. Verse 21. For where your treasure is, there will your heart be also.
And that's where we want to make sure that we're always keeping our mind fixated on Hamashiach Yahweh Shai. That's what we want to make sure. Because he said, if we just seek ye first the kingdom and all his righteousness, all these things will be added to us. You know, the Lord always supplies our needs. So he's just letting us know, just keep him as the main focus and don't get distracted. You know, just always keep him as the main focus. Don't worry about all these things that Because a lot of people, they want to chase everything else except chasing him.
Oh, yes. That's for real.
And can we get Ephesians 5, verse 8 through 11?
Yes, sir.
Come.
Ephesians 5, verse 8. For ye were sometimes darkness, but now are ye light in the Lord. Walk as children of light.
So this is Salaki Elder. This is Apostle Paul. Now, he said, now we were sometimes darkness, but now you are light in the Lord. So we have to walk as children of the light. So remember John 8 and 12, Yahushua, he said, I am the light of the world. Anyone that follows him shall not walk in darkness, but shall have the light of life. So we were in that sin. We were shaping in iniquity, but now because of his grace and because of his abundant mercy and love that he's poured out on us, now we can do this because we couldn't have did it without him. No. Go ahead, Elder.
Verse 9, for the fruit of the Spirit is in all goodness and righteousness and truth. Verse 10, proving what is acceptable unto the Lord.
And that's what we all have to do, and we have to examine ourselves to make sure we're in the faith, and we have to see the things and prove what is he accepting? What is acceptable unto the Lord? He doesn't, because he doesn't accept anything that we do in this world. He's not accepting anything. No. Go ahead, Elder.
Following his commandments is what he accepts.
Con.
So and not following is what he doesn't accept. So verse 11, and have no fellowship with unfruitful works of darkness, but rather reprove them.
And we're supposed to correct the people. And see, when they get the correction, they have to receive the engrafted word. They have to receive it when they get it, because that's what's going to save their souls, like James said.
Yeah.
Can we get Colossians chapter 3, verse 1 through 7?
Yes, sir. Colossians 3, verse 1. If ye then been risen with Christ, seek those things which are above, where Christ Hamashiach sitteth on the right hand of Yahweh.
And you know how, Salakia, Elder, I just want to say something about that verse. Mm-hmm. You know how you do that with that verse 1? Remember in Philippians, he said, let this mind be in you, which was also in Yahushua Hamashiach.
Right.
Keeping your mind on him, because that's how you can, keep yourselves thinking on the things that are above, because that's where he's seated on the right hand.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
Verse 2, set your affection on things above, not on things on the earth. Verse 3, for ye are dead, and your life is hid with Christ Hamashiach in Yahweh.
And we've become dead to all the wickedness. When he said you must be born again, we put off that old former man or that former woman. That's what we've done, and we've let that person stay crucified. So that's why he's saying that person has to stay crucified, and you have to walk in the newness of life. Go ahead, Elder.
Verse 4, when Christ Hamashiach, who is our life, shall appear, then shall ye also appear with him in glory.
Man, that's the good news. That's what we're hoping, Yahweh willing, that we can appear with him in glory, because that's our life. That's this one here, verse 4. He said in John 14, he says, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one goes to the Father except through me. Yeah. Go ahead, Elder.
So verse 5, mortify therefore your members which are upon the earth, fornication, uncleanness, inordinate affection, evil concupiscence, and covetousness, which is idolatry.
Because he doesn't want us to fornicate. He doesn't want us, having no evil concupiscence, and getting into these different, people, lustful ways, coveting, wanting what the next person has. What we need to do is pray for the Lord to give us our own portion.
Yes, sir.
You know, we don't have to covet, and he hates idolatry. He really hates that. And when he's talking about those members, he's just talking about our bodies. We have to always be able to control the lust of our flesh, the lust of our eyes, and the pride of life. Be able to control those members.
Break it down, Elder.
Go ahead.
Sir. Verse 6. For which thing's sake the wrath of Yahweh cometh on the children of disobedience.
So now he's sending that warning. Now that trumpet, he's being blown there. He's warning us now. So if we don't get it together, that's what's going to happen. And we seeing it, Elder. We seeing that going on.
God.
We seeing it all the time.
Yes, we are. Verse 7. In the which ye also walked sometime when ye lived in them.
And see, that's why I had to go to Ephesians, because we were sometimes, he said, you were sometimes in that darkness, but now you're light in the Lord. So now we have to walk as children of the light. And we were. That's why, that's why I had to bring out that Psalms, how we were born and shapen in iniquity. We came into a sinful world, and we still in it.
Yeah.
But we don't have to be part of what they're doing. You know, he set us apart, so we don't have to be part of it.
That's right.
Can we get John 9:31?
Yes, sir. John 9, verse 31. Now we know that Yahweh heareth not sinners, but if any man be a worshiper of Yahweh and doeth his will, him he heareth.
So that's the thing. This is the key to the answered prayers. People saying, "Oh, well, I'm not getting my prayers answered." No, they have to look into that perfect law of liberty and see what it is. As a lot of times, it's because we're doing something. You know, we got to examine ourselves. We might be doing something that's not pleasing. That's all it could be. So he's letting us know we have to look. And if you're in any sin, let's just go to Hebrews real quick, Elder, because I just have to follow the Spirit with this. Hebrews chapter 12. I know it wasn't on this list, but I got to bring this in.
Which verse you talking about?
Hebrews 12, and start at 1 and 2.
Okay. Hebrews 12, verse 1. Wherefore, seeing we also are compassed about with so great a cloud of witnesses, let us lay aside every weight and the sin which doth so easily beset us, and let us run with patience unto the race that is set before us.
So this is going to be that key to where you're going to get them answered. You're going to be able to go to the throne of grace to obtain mercy and find help in a time of need, because you done laid every weight and sin. You done got rid of them.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead, Elder.
Verse 2, looking unto Yahushua, the author and finisher of our faith, who for the joy that was set before him endured the cross, despising the shame, and is set down at the right hand of the throne of Yahweh.
So he got exalted for being obedient. And we got our cross that we carrying. We gotta just, now we die into this flesh, saying no to the things that are contrary to what he said. That's how we're dying daily, because he already put his body up. So what we got to do is use our body as a living sacrifice and just keep saying no to the things that he hates. Just no to those things. That's it. John 15, verse 7 through 10.
Yes, sir.
Elder.
John 15, verse 7. If ye abide in me, and my words abide in you, ye shall ask what ye will, and it shall be done unto you.
Now, you see that? That's all red letter too. That's him.
Yes,
said, if you abide in me and my words abide in you, you hear them, you receive them, and start to do them. He said, you shall ask what you will, and it shall be done unto you.
Okay.
That's the keys to the answered prayer.
Yes,
go ahead, Elder.
Verse 8, herein is my Father glorified, that ye, excuse me, bear much fruit, so shall ye be my disciples.
And as long as you bearing them fruits, You know, we had them trees out there. We like when they got some fruit on them. We like when they keep bearing that fruit.
That's
Right. That fruit, he's saying he wants us to continue being, staying obedient.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, Elder.
Verse 9, as the Father hath loved me, so have I loved you. Continue ye in my love. Verse 10, if ye keep my commandments, ye shall abide in my love, even as I have kept my Father's commandments and abide in his love.
So there's that stipulation, Elder.
Mm-hmm.
He said, I was just sharing this. I had to share it with the Ribby last night. We was getting into it. You know how we be getting into it. And I was saying, this is the key. He said it. If you keep my commandments, you shall abide in my love. So he's telling us, it's not that hard if people read, but that's a lot of times they don't want to read it.
Yes, indeed. Well, I can attest to somebody not wanting to read. But anyway.
Yeah. That's another topic, right, Elder?
Yeah, Con, it sure is. So verse 14 now, right? Because I finished 10.
Yeah, it was it was 7 to 10. Right. And then John 15:14.
Okay. So John 15, verse 14. Ye are my friends, if ye do whatsoever I command you.
That's a little one, but it packs a punch.
It does.
He said, you are my friends. That's him saying it. If you do whatsoever I command you. Right. So let's go to James chapter 4 and 4.
Yes, sir. James 4, verse 4. Ye adulterers and adulteresses, know ye not that the friendship of the world is enmity with Yahweh? Whosoever therefore will be a friend of the world is an enemy of Yahweh.
This is serious business with him. Yeah. So, this is why he said, love not the world. In John, 1 John chapter 2, verse 15, nor the things that are in the world. He's not saying we got to just walk around hating everything, but he's talking about hating the sin, just coming out of all that sin and the foolishness.
There you go.
Let's get Luke chapter 19 and verse 27.
Yes, sir. Luke 19, verse 27. But those mine enemies, which would not that I should reign over them, bring hither and slay them before me.
And that's red letter. So, when you keep precepting what he's saying, man, I was sharing this with, even the girls. I was like, I see why they was coming at Yahweh Shai, because he wasn't just going out giving out lollipops. Man, he was coming with some heat at times, and it was, man, they wouldn't have wanted to go arrest him and do all that. But
our Messiah is an austere man.
Yeah, but sometimes, Elder, they get too offended, and then remember he said, blessed are they that are not offended in me.
Mm-hmm. Hey, well, that's on them,
Gone. Let's get James 4.
James 1 through 3.
Con.
Yes, sir. James 4, verse 1. From whence come wars and fightings among you? Come they not hence, even of your lusts that war in your members?
And that's really the war going on in people's minds. Right. They start having that, or something in their mind, because they start wanting it's the lust. He gonna say it. Go ahead.
Verse 2, ye lust and have not, ye kill and desire to have and cannot obtain. Ye fight and war, yet ye have not, because ye ask not.
And all he said to ask, and it shall be given. In Matthew, he was saying just to ask, but he did have a stipulation. We got to be obedient when we ask.
Right, keeping the commandments.
Con.
Verse
Go
3.
ahead, Elder.
Yes, sir. Ye ask and receive not, because ye ask amiss, that ye may consume it upon your lusts.
Because it's probably because it's something that they want that he doesn't want them to have anyway.
Roger
It's
that.
something they're always wanting, not the things that he said he'll supply all of our needs. You know, that's what I stress to people. He said our needs. He does let us have wants,
Right.
but he said he'll supply all the needs.
All our needs. Yes, sir. So
James, just jump down to
verse
verse
17.
17.
Yes, sir. Verse 17. Therefore, to him that knoweth to do good and doeth it not, to him it is sin.
See, so if they're not wanting to do it, then that's when the sin kicks in. And then in Romans 6:23, he said it. For the wages of sin is death.
Yep.
So
Right.
it gets serious. Sirach, chapter 15, verse 11 through 14. Baba Kasha.
Yes, sir. Sirach, also known as Ecclesiasticus, verse 15, verse
11 through
11.
14.
Okay, gotcha. Thank you. Say not thou, excuse me, it is through the Lord that I fell away, for thou oughtest not do the things that he hateth.
Because he's, you know, a lot of people, they try to blame the Most High. They'll say, well, the Lord did this, or he's letting it be known he's not making no one do anything. It's still a choice. He's giving them their mind to think, you know, make that choice. Like Joshua said, we have to choose ye this day as to whom we're going to serve.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Elder.
Verse 12, say not thou, he hath caused me to err, for he hath no need of the sinful man.
See, he has no need of the sinful man.
Right.
Once, you know, we've come to this truth and into the newness of life, we can't be going back into that mud. We can't turn.
Can't go back.
Go ahead.
Verse 13, the Lord hateth all abomination, and they that fear Yahweh love it not.
Because if you really fear the Lord, you wouldn't be doing those things. Because he said the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. A good understanding have all they that do the commandments. Yeah. So, you know, it's that one right there is clear. So when they don't want to do it, they're not understanding him.
That's right. That's right.
Go ahead, Elder.
Verse 14, he himself made man from the beginning and left him in the hand of his counsel.
And that goes with what the prophet Jeremiah said, how in chapter 17, how he said he gonna let them be judged according to their ways and according to the fruit of their own doings. Their own doings is gonna get them.
That's right.
Ezekiel chapter 18 and verse 4. Elder.
Okay,
Ezekiel chapter 18 and verse 4.
Okay, verse 4. Behold, all souls are mine. As the soul of the Father, so also the soul of the Son is mine. The soul that sinneth, it shall die.
So that's why we gotta make sure our calling and election is sure, because we gotta reach. He said to work out our own salvation.
Yeah.
We have to do it, you know, for ourselves. We all have to do it. You know, we all have work to do. So ain't no one can say, well, oh yeah, we can't save the next person. In other words,
no,
we can't. All we can do is plant, like Paul said. One will plant, another will water, and Yahweh brings that increase.
Yes, sir.
Sirach, Ecclesiasticus, chapter 15, verse 18 to 20, Elder.
Yes, sir. Okay, so verse 18.
18 through 20.
Yes. Ecclesiasticus, Sirach 15, verse 18 through 20. For the wisdom of the Lord is great, and he is mighty in power, and beholdeth all things. Verse 19. And his eyes are upon them that fear him, and he knoweth every work of man.
And that's why we always will touch on that. You know how we say he's omnipotent because he's all knowing. He knows.
Seeing all
Go
things.
ahead.
Verse 20, he hath commanded no man to do wickedly, neither hath he given any man license to sin.
So that'll cut them, Elder, when they try to say, "Oh, the Lord, well, God, he's made me, he's making me do it." He's saying he ain't commanding them to do it.
Boy, I tell you, they come up with some excuses, don't they?
You hear it all the time.
You hear all kind of stuff, man. It gets to be ridiculous.
Yeah. Where we at? Oh, Ezekiel 18.
Ezekiel.
Chapter 18 and 32.
Okay. Oh, man. Excuse me.
That's all right, Elder.
Yes, sir. Okay. Ezekiel 18, verse 32. For I have no pleasure in the death of him that dieth, saith the Lord Yahweh. Wherefore turn yourselves and live ye.
See there? He ain't got no pleasure in it.
Well,
When Yahweh made that point in John 14, he says, not 14, it's John, I think around the 10th chapter. He says, I am come that you may have life and all its fullness.
Yep.
That's all he was speaking about what the Father told him to say.
Mm-hmm.
That's all he was saying. The same thing the Father was saying. This Yahweh was saying this.
Mm-hmm.
He said he has no pleasure in the death of him that dieth. 1 Peter chapter 3, verse 12 through 16. Bible Kashar.
Yes, sir. So verse 12, for the eyes of the Lord are over the righteous, and his ears are open unto their prayers. But the face of the Lord is against them that do evil. Verse 13, and who is he that will harm you, if ye be followers of that which is good?
No, that's interesting. But some people, they came after the prophets and Yahweh. But he said in Matthew, he said from the blood of Abel to the blood of righteous Zechariah, it's going to be required of this generation. Mm-hmm. So when they touched him, all that stuff is not going unpunished. So he put these warnings out there if they do it. And usually if you're doing what's right, you should be okay. But then you're going to have some rotten apples who just are, they just have pure hate. But if they do, he said he's still coming after them. Go ahead, Elder.
Verse 14. And if ye suffer for righteousness' sake, happy are ye, and be not afraid of their terror, neither be troubled.
That's why he said, remember, let not your heart be troubled. In John 14, he said, believe in Yahweh and believe also in me. Then he went on and said, in my Father's house are many mansions. And I'm going to stop there. You know the rest.
Yes, sir.
He went on and kept going with it.
Oh, yeah. Letting us know. Verse 15, but sanctify the Lord Yahweh in your hearts, and be ready always to give an answer to every man that asketh you a reason of the hope that is in you, with meekness and fear.
So that's why we got to always stay in the scripture. So when they ask us, we're going to give them what the answer the Lord said. We're going to tell them like Peter said, if any man speak, we're going to speak the oracles. We're going to tell them what the Lord said. We're not going to tell them our thought and our opinion. We're going to tell them what saith the Lord. Yeah. They don't like it. I had an incident yesterday, Elder. I'll tell you about it some more later. Yeah, but I had an incident. They didn't want to hear it. When the word started to go forth, they was in the track race.
You know what?
Track race started.
A lot of times, those scoffers, they want you to give them your opinion.
That's
always, and it's like, well, no, I got to give you what the word says, what the Most High says, and
that's it.
But they don't want.
They don't want it. They don't want that. They don't want. That's too much.
There it is. A heavy weight on them. Cutting them up.
That's it.
Verse 16. Excuse me. having a good conscience, that whereas they speak evil of you as of evildoers, they may be ashamed that falsely accuse your good conversation in Hamashiach.
That's right. So the Lord gonna put them to shame. He said, but we never remember in Isaiah 45:17, he says, we're not gonna be ashamed nor confounded.
Nope.
But he gonna put those people to shame as long as we stick to the script. He gonna put them to shame.
Put them to shame.
Hebrews chapter 4, verse 14 to 16.
Yes,
Bob Kashaw.
God. Verse 14. Seeing then that we have a great high priest that is passed into the heavens, Yahushua, the son of Yahweh, let us hold fast our profession.
So we gotta keep professing his name, keep professing it, and keep bringing this word out. Go ahead.
Verse 15. For we have not an high priest which cannot be touched with the feeling of our infirmities, but was in all points tempted like as we are, yet without sin.
And that's why we was all shaping in iniquity. Mm-hmm. We was all shaping in it. So that's why he said we've all sinned and come short of the glory. Right. All of us. That's why we can't do it without him.
Oh no.
You know, it's impossible.
Yeah. He set that perfect example, but we fall all the time.
Come on, elder.
So, verse 16. Let us therefore come boldly unto the throne of grace, that we may obtain mercy and find grace to help in time of need.
Like I love that precept.
You always
hearing it.
You always say that.
That one I love, because he said, "Go to the throne and take it to him."
Yes. Sir.
So that's why when you say we hear something, hey, we going to the quiet place. We're going right there, take it right to him, leave it on his lap.
Yes, sir.
Philippians chapter 3, verse 20 and 21. Baba Kasha. Philippians
chapter 3,
verse 20 and 21.
Okay, 20, 21. Gotcha. All right. Verse 20. For our conversation is in heaven, from whence also we look for the Savior, the Lord Yahushua Hamashiach.
Now this is funny, because people keep saying, "Oh, they be saying that he's coming back." They've been saying he's coming for years. This is what I've heard, Elder. A lot of people say that, but the scriptures say, "Why is he saying all this?" And we looking for him. So he actually told the disciples in Acts chapter 1. Remember, he said this same Hamashiach Yahushua who ascended is going to come the same way, descending in the clouds.
That's right.
And then people will say, "No, they've been saying he's coming back for years."
Rather than what they ought to be doing, rather than scoffing and being that way, they should be using the grace that they've been blessed with to get their lives in order. That's what they should be doing, rather than worrying about, him coming back. Of course, we want him to, but you got to be in righteousness, following the commandments, have repented, following the commandments, having the faith in the Hamashiach, for you to be able to have salvation. So, these people desiring something and not really knowing what the deal is,
That's it, Elder. And I'm trying to think. You made me think of a precept, how he said, "Woe to those, Amos, that desire the day of the Lord."
Mm-hmm.
He said, "To what end is it for you?" That's the ones that they better, like you said, you have to be doing right. So there, a lot of them are desiring that day, and then there's people that just scoff and say, "Oh, he ain't." They've been saying this for years. A lot of them just don't believe at all that he's coming.
Yeah.
So you hear it on both sides.
That's true. That is true. So verse 21. Who shall change our vile body, that it may be fashioned like unto his glorious body, according to the working whereby he is able even to subdue all things unto himself.
So that's when we gonna get Yahweh willing, he gonna take away these corruptible bodies, these sinful bodies that we're in.
Yes,
So
sir.
that's why I titled this The Most High, but we're gonna get into it. The Most High will change our corruptible bodies, because we were shapen in iniquity, like David said. That was the king of Israel, saying how he was shapen in iniquity. So let's get 1 Corinthians 15, verse 28.
Yes, sir. Verse 28. And when all things be subdued unto him, then shall the Son also himself be subject unto him that put all things under him, that Yahweh may be all in all.
Because he has a head. Yahushua has a head. That's all that's saying. You know, he says, and when all things shall be subdued unto him, he gonna take care of all these things, because he's been given power and authority over all flesh, like he said in John 17 from the top. Yes, so he's going to subdue everything, but he still has that head, which is the Father Yahweh. Jump up or jump down, Elder, the same chapter, to 45 to 50.
Yes, sir. Verse 45. And so it is written, the first man, Adam, was made a living soul. The last Adam was made a quickening spirit.
Because he was changed. Because see, Adam messed, you know, we all know the story with Adam. You know, this is another lesson. A lot of people, you know who Adam was. He said, I am Alpha and Omega. I am the beginning and the end. He said, I am the first and the last. So that'd be another lesson.
Yes, sir.
Read on, Elder.
Verse 46. Howbeit that was not first which is spiritual, but that which is natural, and afterward that which is spiritual.
And that's why he was telling Nicodemus, we must be born again. Because, you know, Nicodemus, he was one of the teachers in Israel, but he didn't understand that. Right. When Yahushua was telling him, he was like, man, how can a man be born and put into his mother's womb a second time? So this is what he was talking about, that spiritual, being born of the Spirit.
That's right.
And walking in the newness of life. Go ahead, Elder.
Verse 47. The first man is of the earth, earthy.
Elder. So like, yeah, I was saying they earthy. I'm gonna have to use this precept again. It's brought this one in a while. I mean, out there on the you know, the Shabbat.
Right.
They're earthy. They being earthy.
Yeah, that's not good either.
Go ahead, Elder.
The second man is the Lord from heaven.
See, that was a Mashiach, Yahushua, when he came down. He was the bread of life that came down from heaven. So he that one wasn't earthy. He was the one without sin. Right. And Shalom to looks like Malak Lab is in the house. Shalom, Yahweh B'Shem and Mashiach Yahushai. Rakatah. Shalom to you, King. Go ahead, Elder.
48. As is the earthy, such are they that are earthy. And as is the heavenly, such are they also that are heavenly.
So he was making a distinction. Like the first man, he was that earthy man. He fell short. Because like he said in Romans, we've all sinned and come short of the glory. So Adam, he messed up. But when Yahushua came, he was without that sin. He was spiritual.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
Verse 49. And as we have borne the image of the earthy, we shall also bear the image of the heavenly.
Yeah, Yahweh willing. That's what we praying. We want to. God. Go ahead, Elder.
Verse 50. Now this I say, brethren, that flesh and blood cannot inherit the kingdom of Yahweh, neither doth corruption inherit incorruption.
Because right now we in these sinful bodies. We're in it. So it's not, that's why he said these types of bodies ain't going to inherit, not that heavenly place. When he was talking about that in John 14, when he said, I'm going to prepare a place for you. And if I go to prepare a place for you, I will come again and receive you unto myself. Now that place that's what he's talking about. Now here, he's going to establish the kingdom here where where Yasharallah is going to be in rulership here on earth too.
Oh, yes. Yes, sir.
1 Corinthians, stay in that chapter,
Yes,
Elder.
sir.
Verse 33 to 34.
Uh, 30. Yes, sir. 33, 34. Okay. verse 33. Be not deceived. Evil communications corrupt good manners.
So that's why we got to, he said, let every word that comes out of your mouth in Ephesians, let it be edifying and uplifting, that it may minister grace to the hearers. So if people don't have something good to say about someone, they shouldn't even say it at all. Yeah. It's better just to keep their mouth shut unless it's something good, like he said. Go ahead.
Verse 34. Awake to righteousness and sin not, for some have not knowledge of Yahweh. I speak this to your shame.
So Paul was cutting them up in Corinth at this time, because a lot of them, I guess, their mouths wasn't right. There was a lot of stuff, they was effeminate. He was coming hard on them. When you read the Corinthians, he was really getting on them. So he was like, this is a shame. Paul was letting them have it.
Yeah, he was.
Let's jump up to verse 24 through 27.
Yes, sir. Verse 24. Then cometh the end, when he shall have delivered up the kingdom to Yahweh, even the Father, when he shall have put down all rule and all authority and power.
So we know that's coming. That's why you seeing these people getting nervous and acting the way they acting, because they know they losing their power, but they can't stop what's already been prophesied. That's why we got to let this movie play itself out. Every movie has an ending.
That's right.
It's going to play itself out to the end.
That's right.
Go ahead.
Verse 25. For he must reign till he had put all enemies under his feet.
So they've had their dispensation of time. They've been on top for a long time, but he getting ready to he gonna take all the crowns.
Oh yes, indeed. Yeah. Verse 26. The last enemy that shall be destroyed is death.
Because he talked about that. Remember in Revelation, he said, he gonna take away every tears from our eyes. Ain't gonna be no more death, no more pain, and no more sorrow. Because he said the former things are gonna be passed away. He's coming to make all things new. Go ahead, Elder.
Verse 27. For he hath put all things under his feet. But when he saith all things are put under him, it is manifest that he is accepted, which did put all things under him.
And he's accepted. Yahweh accepted him because he was obedient. He stayed obedient. That's what we got to do. We got to be obedient. We're in this sinful world, but he gave us the instructions. He gave us all these straight commandments, how we can do it, to stay on track. Yeah. Let's jump down to 51 through 58.
Yes, sir. Verse 51. Behold, I show you a mystery. We shall not all sleep, but we shall all be changed.
But a lot of our people, they sleep. A lot of them are asleep. The ones that haven't awakened, they spiritually dead. They walking around like zombies. And when you look up zombie, Elder, it's just someone that don't know nothing. They just ignorant. That's all. They being ignorant to the truth. So, but
I'm familiar with a few of them. Right up in here. Right up.
Yeah, we see it. We see it. I see it. But there's the ones that are asleep. We've had people, loved ones that's passed on. They sleep. But then there's people here sleep still. Read on. He gonna say it.
Yeah. 51. Behold, actually 52, I'm sorry. In the moment, in the twinkling of an eye, at the last trump, for the trumpet shall sound, and the dead shall be raised incorruptible, and we shall be changed.
So that's when these corruptible, that mortality is going to put on immortality. That's what he's going to do. He has that power to subdue all things unto himself. Go ahead.
Verse 53. Shalati. Verse 53. For this corruptible must put on incorruption, and this mortal must put on immortal.
See, I was saying, I was ahead of myself, Elder, saying it before you got to it.
Yeah, well, hey, it is what it is, and
Yeah,
bringing it out strong, because sometimes people need to hear it twice.
come on. All praises to the Most High.
Yes, sir. So verse 54. So when this corruptible shall have put on incorruption, and this mortal shall have put on immortality, then shall be brought to pass the saying that is written, death is swallowed up in victory.
See, when he gives, say we want to get them see the elect, once the elect get these bodies, then these guns, that's where now Isaiah is going to kick in. Is it Isaiah? No weapon formed against us shall prosper. They're using all they swords and all that stuff. They, modern day sword, the gun and all they military might. They ain't going to stop the men. They ain't going to stop the elect. They're going to have that power to break the nations into pieces like clay pots.
Oh, man.
Go ahead, Elder.
Yes, sir. Verse 55. O death, where is thy sting? O grave, where is thy victory?
But we know Yahushua conquered that in the tomb. Remember in Acts said it was not possible for the tomb to hold him. It couldn't hold him.
Verse 56. The sting of death is sin, and the strength of sin is the law. 57. But thanks be to Yahweh, which giveth us the victory through our Lord Yahushua Hamashiach.
All praises to the Most High for Hamashiach Yahushua.
Yes,
this is why we can get the victory. We can't do it without him.
Nope.
Let's get that next one, Elder.
Yes, sir. Therefore, my beloved brethren, be ye steadfast, unmovable, always abounding in the work of the Lord. For as much as ye know that your labor is not in vain in the Lord.
See, that's why we got to keep putting in these bricks. We got to keep doing it. Yes, he said, "Those that endure to the end shall be saved." So he's letting us know it's not in vain.
Right.
1 Corinthians chapter 4,
13 through 18.
Salakia, Elder. 1 Thessalonians chapter 4, not Corinthians. Salakia.
Oh, you know what? I was in Thessalonians. I'm sorry.
All praises.
I was there already. So 13 through 18. Roger that. But I would not have you to be ignorant, brethren, concerning them which are asleep, that ye sorrow not, even as others which have no hope.
Now, that's twofold, because a lot of them are asleep, walking around here, because they haven't awakened. Remember, he said, awake, thou that sleepest, and arise from the dead, and Christ will give thee light. So that's the ones walking around here who won't hear it, but then the ones that sleep. That's the grave.
Right. Verse 14. For if we believe that Yahushua Hamashiach died and rose again, even so them also which sleep in Yahushua Hamashiach will Yahweh bring with him.
So them, the ones that, passed on, that you miss, that was, doing things right, the Lord, he got them. Like he said, I'm not going to say it. We're going to get to it.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
Verse 15. For this we say unto you by the word of the Lord, that we which are alive and remain unto the coming of the Lord shall not prevent them which are asleep.
So that's the ones that's gone. If they're the ones, those are the ones he called, and they chosen. They coming. They going with him too.
Yes.
So that's comfort, Elder, to the ones that's passed on too. The Lord got them too.
Oh yes,
he got them too. The ones that's passed on, he got them.
Excuse me. Yep. Verse 16. For the Lord himself shall descend from heaven with a shout, with the voice of the archangel, and with the trump of Yahweh, and the dead in Christ shall rise first.
Yeah, we're not going to be going ahead of them.
No.
He said they're going to go and then if we're still here, then we'll be raptured. That's the rapture they always talked about.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the ones that are here, they're gonna get raptured at that time. And he was a cracker, you know, Yahweh will, and he cracked that sky, and then, you know, we doing this what we need to be doing this right here.
Yes, sir.
Then get raptured up.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
Go
sir.
ahead.
Verse 17. Then we which are alive and remain shall be caught up together with them in the clouds to meet the Lord in the air. And so shall we ever be with the Lord.
And we know the clouds are the chariots because it says it in Psalms 104. I think verse 3. The clouds are them chariots.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I've been hearing people saying they don't need to keep talking about them chariots when they in the scriptures. They need to stop going against it.
Yep.
Go ahead.
Verse 18. Wherefore, comfort one another with these words.
So that's what we're going to do. We're going to comfort each other.
Yes,
We're going to keep comforting each other with these words, the words that he gave us, his words. 2 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 15 through 17. Bob Kashaw.
Yes, sir. Verse 15. For all things are for your sakes, that the abundant grace might, through the thanksgiving of many, redound to the glory of Yahweh. Verse 16. For which cause we faint not, but though our outward man perish, yet the inward man is renewed day by day.
Because our bodies, we just keep dealing with different, you know, things. Because we're getting older, like he said.
Mm-hmm.
We're dealing with different things, but our inward man is being renewed day by day.
Yes, sir.
You know, I was like, oh man, I was laying in the room when I was telling you my son was over. He came in with all this cologne on the clothes, and I was sitting there getting a little wheezy. I'm like, I got to deal with we dealing with things,
Yes,
all these
sir.
different things. And I'm like, oh man, open the door. I had to let the house air out.
Wow.
So all that stuff like that, Elder, we're going to have to, all that stuff, he's going to take care of all that stuff.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Verse 17. For our light affliction, which is but for a moment, worketh for us a far more exceeding and eternal weight of glory.
Because it's what he has in store for those that love him. Remember, he said, eyes have not seen, nor ears have heard, nor entered the hearts of men. The things that Yahweh has prepared for them that love him. It's far more greater than what everyone is fighting and scraping and, you know, dog eating dog over here.
What we can imagine.
Yeah, they can't imagine what he got. They can't even fathom it.
That's something to look forward to.
Come on.
Yes, sir.
Read that next one, Elder.
Yes, sir. Verse 18. While we look not at the things which are seen, but at the things which are not seen. For the things which are seen are temporal, but the things which are not seen are eternal.
And that's what Moses was saying to the Pharaoh when he was going into Egypt. He was like, oh, he didn't care about that, you know, the title and the status he had.
Right.
He was like, oh, I'll go out there with my brothers and sisters and be in bondage.
That's
I'm
right.
gonna look for the invisible Yahweh. That's what he was saying. The eternal thing. That's what he said. If you read Hebrews.
He did it.
I'm just paraphrasing that one in Hebrews. I think it's in chapter 10. Let me see. Let me look real quick, Elder. We could get it.
All right.
We just look real quick since
Call
we
it
talking
out.
about it.
Hebrews.
Oh, you got it?
No, I don't actually.
Wait, let me see. It was the one where he was. Let's see. I think it's Hebrews 10, or is it 11? I might be in the wrong chapter here. Let me look. Yeah, I think it's 11. Yeah, Hebrews 11, verse 23. And you can start there, Elder, with this, because this is kind of touching on that.
Yes, sir. Hebrews 11, verse 23. By faith, Moses, when he was born, was hid 3 months of his parents, because they saw he was a proper child, and they not afraid of the king's commandment.
Yeah, they didn't have the spirit of fear.
Oh
They
no.
had that power and of love, and they had sound minds. They weren't afraid of what they knew who to fear. Go ahead.
Verse 24. By faith, Moses, when he was come to years, refused to be called the son of Pharaoh's daughter.
He didn't want that title.
No, not
See?
anymore.
Go ahead.
Verse 25. Choosing rather to suffer affliction with the people of Yahweh than to enjoy the pleasures of sin for a season.
And that's what a lot of people, they want this sin for a season, for a couple seasons.
Yes, sir.
And look at the next one.
Verse 26, esteeming the reproach of Christ greater riches than the treasures in Egypt, for he had respect unto the recompense of the reward.
He was looking at the big picture. He was looking ahead, like, this ain't it. I got something greater. The next one, Elder, you're going to see.
Verse 27, by faith he forsook Egypt, not fearing the wrath of the king, for he endured as seeing him who is invisible.
There it is.
Yes.
He knew about Yahweh. He was like, oh no, I'm gonna fear the one who can kill the bodies and cast a soul into hell.
Yes,
that's what I'm gonna fear. That's why he said, oh, you just put me in slavery with the rest of my people.
Yes, indeed.
2 Corinthians chapter 5, 1 through 10. We just got a couple more, Elder.
2 Corinthians chapter 5, verse 1. For we know that if our earthly house of this tabernacle were dissolved, we have a building of Yahweh, and house not made with hand, eternal in the heavens.
See, that's what Moses was looking at. Yep. That's what Yahweh was looking at. Yep. That's what Stephen, when they were stoning him, when he was getting stoned to death.
That's right.
He was like, don't lay this to their charge. And they was killing him. Wow. Go ahead, Elder.
Yes, indeed. Verse 2, for in this we groan earnestly, desiring to be clothed upon with our house, which is from heaven. If so,
we just have to be patient. There's a time and a season, like Solomon said. Go ahead.
Verse 3, if so be that being clothed, we shall not be found naked.
And we don't want to be found in that sin, like you said earlier, Elder, being found naked. Go ahead.
Verse 4, for we that are in this tabernacle do groan, being burdened, not for that we would be unclothed, but clothed upon, that mortality might be swallowed up of life.
Because he gonna change, Yahweh willing, he gonna change these corruptible bodies and give us the righteous ones.
Yes,
read on.
Verse 5. Now he hath wrought us for the self same thing is Yahweh, who also hath given unto us the earnest of the Spirit.
So he's given us a, he said his spirit, remember Romans 8, is joined to our spirit as we cry, Abba, Father. So he's revealing it through the Spirit, through your spirit, that inner man. He's revealing it to you already.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
Verse 6. Therefore, we are always confident, knowing that whilst we are at home in the body, we are absent from the Lord. Verse 7. For we walk by faith, not by sight.
And that's what this is what we got to have, faith. We got to have faith. And he said, if we have faith the size of a mustard seed, we can move mountains.
Verse 8. We are confident, I say, and willing rather to be absent from the body and to be present with the Lord. Verse 9. Wherefore we labor, that whether present or absent, we may be accepted of him.
So that's why Paul was like, he was like, whether it's here or there, it's still about Hamashiach Yahushai. Whether we here in this body, when you read that in Philippians, when he was saying to live is Hamashiach and to die is gain. He was saying, well, either here or there. It's still about him. Either way, it's about him. But the next one, Elder.
Yes, sir. Verse 10. For we must all appear before the judgment seat of Christ, Hamashiach, that everyone may receive the things done in his body, according to that he hath done, whether it be good or bad.
That sounds like Solomon in Ecclesiastes. Sounds just like it, huh?
Woo! Yeah,
it's the same thing Solomon was saying. So that's why we gotta make sure our calling and election is sure.
Yeah, got to.
Romans 8. We're gonna close out with after these. Romans 8, verse 18 to 25.
Yes, Romans 8, verse 18. Salakia. For I reckon that the sufferings of this present time are not worthy to be compared with the glory which shall be revealed in us.
So whatever we're going through right now, it's not going to be like this. That's why in Revelation I mentioned that, how he said the old things are going to be passed away. He's going to make all things new. And he's going to take away all this tears, everything all the afflictions, all the things we're suffering now. We're not going to have to deal with that stuff no more.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
Verse 19. For the earnest expectation of the creature waiteth for the manifestation of the sons of Yahweh.
Because remember, was it 2 Corinthians 5 and 17? If any man be in a Mashiach, he is a new creature. The old things are passed away, he said. All things become new.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Elder.
Verse 20. For the creature was made subject to vanity, not willingly, but by reason of him who hath subjected the same in hope.
Because we was born in, like David said, that's why we had to start with that. We was born in shapen in iniquity. We in this sinful world right now. So we have to, be able to fight, resist, the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, and all these things. Yes. That's where we're battling. That's our battle daily.
It is. Verse 21. Because the creature itself also shall be delivered from the bondage of corruption into the glorious liberty of the children of Yahweh.
That's the good news. Yes, man, this is the good news.
Verse 22. For we know that the whole creation groaneth and travaileth in pain together until now.
Because remember, David was saying the whole foundation of the earth, it's out of course. So it's all messed up. Yes. So everybody's all, and he says when the wicked are in authority, the people mourn. But when the righteous are in rule, the people they're gonna be rejoicing. Yeah, once we get our kingdom established, they're gonna be happy. All these people that's all mad at even their own people that's mad. All these other nations, they're gonna have their portion, and the Esau, they're gonna be there to rebuild.
Yeah,
but they're gonna get that judgment. But while they're in, all of them gonna have their portion. So it's gonna be better for all the nations.
Animals too.
The trees, they're not gonna be chopping down all these trees. Everything they messing up, Elder.
Yes, indeed. So verse 23. And not only they, but ourselves also, which have the first fruits of the Spirit, even we ourselves groan within ourselves, waiting for the adoption, to wit, the redemption of our body.
That's what remember Job was saying, he gonna wait until his change come. Remember that one in Job, Elder? It's a little, I'm gonna have to send it to you.
Yeah, please do. Please do.
He said, I'm just gonna wait until my change comes. That's what Job was saying. Job was going through it.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Sure did.
He was going through it.
For we are saved by hope, but hope that is seen is not hope. For what a man seeth, why doth he yet hope for?
That's because we walking by faith and not by sight.
Right.
Go ahead.
Verse 25. But if we hope for that we see not, then do we with patience wait for it.
And that's why David was saying, wait on the Lord and be of good courage. And he going to strengthen your heart, your mind. Then he said, wait, I say, on the Lord. He said it twice.
Yeah, he did.
Or 3 times. Almost 2 or 3. He said it a few times.
Was it? Yeah, it was, wasn't it?
Yeah, David kept repeating. He was like, I'm going to make this clear.
Wait on the Lord. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Hey. Go ahead.
Oh, that was 25.
Oh, that was it. That's it. That was it. We done got to it, Elder. Unless you have something you want to add to this.
Actually, I don't. I'm just happy to have been able to be a part of the lesson as your reader. And
all praises.
Always a wonderful thing to come together with your brother and be a part of putting the word out, edification for our nation. And hopefully it was edifying to those who watched and those who will watch. All praises to the Most High.
Well, all praises. Well, that's what we got to do. Just put in our brick. Once it's out there. So that's the beautiful thing about this. It's there. So the ones that may not had a chance to, they may get to see it later.
Yes, sir.
That's a beautiful part about it. So, we just putting our bricks in. And, I want to say Tawada to you, Elder, for the mighty reading. I appreciate this because I was like, man, I would have did it, but I'm like, man, that's a lot to read. Was quite a bit.
Look,
so it's always good.
Always happy, overjoyed to be able to be a part of it and be the reader for you, my brother. Hey, I enjoy this, and it's a blessing. It's a blessing that you had asked, and a blessing to be a blessing.
All praises to the Most High.
I'm thankful you did ask, and more than happy to oblige. Always.
All praises. And I want to say the water to everyone, as you said, Elder, that tuned in and that will tune in. And, I want to always say peace and salutations to everyone out there that's bringing out this truth with sincerity. And it's all praises to the Most High for, him allowing us another day and to be able to do his lessons. I just thank the Most High for that. And for you, Elder, and we're just going to continue to lift each other up in prayer as we continue this race.
Yes, sir.
Looking unto a Mashiach, the author and finisher of our faith.
Yes, sir. God.
And with that, if you don't have anything else, Elder?
Nope, I don't.
All right. I'm going to say shalom. Shalom.
Shalom, Mashpaka.
Yahweh Bashem Mashiach Yahweh Shai Barakatam.
Yes, sir.